I'll need your report for the stockholders meeting.
27th of next month? Well, that should be no problem. Where are you planning on holding it this year?
The grand ballroom, as usual. Is Hazel coming?
One share of stock, but she'll be there.
Hazel's all right. When she asks a question, it's intelligent. Most of those women are numbskulls.
You mean the ones that question your salary?
No, the ones who question how much I pay my attorney. Got you there, didn't I, Baxter? Yes?
Mrs. Totter is here and insists upon seeing you.
Tell her I'm in an important meeting and can't be disturbed. Stockholders drive me crazy.
She's a stockholder?
Yes, she's one of the numbskulls I mentioned. She keeps dropping in with some bright idea about how to run the business.
Well, you don't have to pay any attention to her.
Listen, when you have as much stock as Mrs. Totter... Yes?
Mrs. Totter insists upon...
Tell her there's a stockholders meeting on the 27th of next month. Anything she has to say...
Can't wait, Mr. Griffin. It's an emergency. I'm coming right in.
All right, Mrs. Totter. Baxter, you gotta help me get rid of her. I don't know how to handle women. Now you're a married man and...
Oh, there you are, Mr. Griffin. I knew you wouldn't mind my dropping in for just a minute.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Totter. May I introduce Mr. Baxter, my attorney?
How do you do?
Oh, my. You're very tall. I always think of attorneys as rather short men with briefcases.
Well, we come in assorted sizes.
Oh, he's cute. Well, as you can see, I'm back from Florida.
Yes. I hope you had a nice trip.
Oh, no. No, it didn't work out at all. Poor Freddie just couldn't stand it. He finally became so depressed that I had to take him back to New York to see his psychiatrist.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Nothing serious, I hope.
Well, the poor darling was simply terrified by those palm trees. Now, his psychiatrist says that it is probably due to some traumatic experience he had as a puppy.
A puppy?
Yes, Baxter. Now, Mrs. Totter, what did you want to see me about?
Oh, this. The minute I saw it, I just rushed down here. Isn't that the loveliest shade of yellow?
Yes, it's pretty, I guess.
Oh, I knew you'd agree with me. And brown is such a drab color for the company trucks. I get depressed every time I see one. So, why don't we call them all in and paint them all yellow?
Paint them yellow? Well, we can't call in 2,000 trucks and paint them yellow.
Not at the moment, Mrs. Totter, but I do admire your taste. That is a very cheerful color. When the time comes to paint the trucks, I assure you, Mr. Griffin will give your suggestion the proper attention it calls for. Won't you, Mr. Griffin?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I do hope you will leave this lovely swatch.
Oh, why, certainly.
Mrs. Totter, it has been a pleasure meeting you, and I will enjoy seeing you again at the stockholders meeting.
Oh, I'll be there.
Don't forget to come up and say hello.
Oh.
Goodbye, Mrs. Totter.
Goodbye, Mr. Baxter. Goodbye, Mr. Griffin.
Goodbye. Well, Baxter, I take my hat off to you.
I'm afraid I gave her the bum's rush.
But she didn't know it. Why, it's sometimes taken me an hour to get rid of her. Maybe it's because I never married. I don't understand women, Baxter. Don't know the first thing about them. Thank heaven you were here.
Glad to be of service.
Well, I owe you a favor. Anything I can do, just name it.
No, nothing. As a matter of fact, there is. Mr. Griffin, in all your enterprises, would you have any use anywhere for a translator of dead languages?
Dead languages? Of course not. What are you talking about?
Well, nothing really. I have a neighbor who's seeking a position.
Is that all he can do? Translate dead languages?
Well, no, he has been an investor.
Oh? Who is he?
His name is Herbert Johnson. I believe you met him once. His father was Carl Johnson.
Carl Johnson? The Tiger of Wall Street? Why, he was a boyhood idol of mine. Cornered the market on wheat and made millions. And this is his boy?
Yes, but...
By golly, Carl Johnson's boy. I don't suppose he ever cornered the market in anything.
Well, as a matter of fact, he has. At this very moment, he's cornered the market on whalebone. He has 485 tons of it.
You don't say so. Well, the old tiger would be proud.
Well, I don't know, Mr. Griffin. What can a person do with 485 tons of whalebone?
Baxter, you've led too protected a life. They make corsets out of it.
Mr. Griffin,
now, have Johnson come in and see me. I like his initiative.
Mr. Griffin, whalebone is not used in corsets.
Oh, yes, it is. My mother wore them. You know, Johnson might fit into the purchasing department.
I don't seem to have you down for an appointment.
Oh, well, I had another meeting in the building, and I thought as long as I get...
Have a magazine, Mr. B. Wait.
He hasn't a chance, you know.
Oh, well, I'd engage him in a minute.
To do what?
I guess he hasn't got much of a chance at that.
Oh, why, Mr. Baxter, how nice seeing you again.
Hello, Mrs. Totter. Another color for the trucks?
Oh, no. This is for the drivers' uniforms. Isn't it lovely? I'm going to show it to Mr. Griffin right away.
Mrs. Totter, I'm sorry. He's with a Mr. Herbert Johnson.
Herbert Johnson? Oh, my dear. Herbie won't mind. I've known him since I was a little girl.
Well, for Pete's sake.
Oh, that'll ruin everything.
I'm sorry. She always does that.
I know. She has a lot of nerve.
What she's got is a lot of stock. Boy, you should see her at the meetings. Does she ask dumb questions?
Of course, if she knows Mr. Johnson, maybe she can put in a good word for him.
She never done anything right in her life. She don't say she might recommend Mr. Johnson.
And, Mrs. Totter, I hope you'll explain the whole concept to my assistant, Mr. Johnson.
And you really do like the color, don't you, Herbie?
Oh, yes, I think it's excellent. Green, isn't it?
Miss Adams, I want you to arrange for Mr. Johnson to have the office next door. From now on, all stockholders and their crackpot, crackerjack ideas are to be referred to him.
Oh, this is exciting. Thank you, Mr. Griffin.
Oh, forget it. You're doing me the favor. We'll discuss salary after you get back from lunch.
Marvelous. Come along, George, Hazel, Violet. You're all my guests.
Thanks, Harvey.
My pleasure.
You got some brownies coming, Mr. Griffin.
I'll be waiting for them, Hazel.
Come along, everybody. Let's not keep luncheon waiting. Come along. Let's go. I want to get back, you know. I've got my... Oh, Mr. Griffin, when stockholders bring me their ideas, will I have full authority?
Mr. Johnson, you will have absolutely no authority whatsoever.
Oh, splendid, splendid. That would have worried me.